Imagine the night sky, countless stars, each one a distant sun, each with its own story. Yet among this endless sea of light, a few stars shine brighter than the rest, capturing our gaze and imagination. These are the stars that guide us, that shape the constellations we use to navigate. In the vast expanse of human history, a handful of nations have played a similar role, standing out, influencing the course of civilization itself. In the grand story of civilization, 4 nations, France, Russia, China, and the United States, have pulled the world into their orbit, acting as beacons of change, innovation, and power. Their stories are epic sagas of revolution, ambition, and transformation. Tales of people rising up, of empires crumbling, and of new worlds being born from the ashes of the old. Each took a unique path. One rose from the ruins of a fallen empire, its palaces echoing with the footsteps of revolutionaries and dreamers. Another emerged from the frozen north, shaped by harsh winters and even harsher rulers, forging its destiny through struggle and endurance. A third traces its roots to ancient dynasties, where emperors ruled from walled cities and philosophies shaped the hearts of millions. And the last was born from a bold experiment in liberty, where ideals of freedom and self-governance sparked a new nation across the ocean. To truly understand our world today, we must trace their journeys from scattered tribes and ancient villages to the global giants they have become. This is not just a story of history, it's the story of the forces that build and rebuild our world, of the ideas and conflicts that shape our lives. Change is the only constant, toppling monarchies, redrawing borders, and fueling the rise and fall of empires. With every upheaval, the world is remade. The evolution of these 4 powers is a testament to human resilience, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of progress, even in the face of destruction. So let's begin our voyage across time and continents to witness the birth, growth, and transformation of these great powers, and to see how their stories intertwine. We'll stand in royal courts, on revolutionary front lines, and in the halls where the future was debated and decided, feeling the weight of history in every moment. By understanding their past, their triumphs, their failures, and their dreams, we gain perspective on our present and a clearer vision for our future. The story of France, Russia, China, and the United States is, in many ways, the story of the modern world, a story still being written star by star. Our journey begins in the deep past, in a world shaped by the slow turning of centuries and the silent work of countless generations. Here, beneath the shifting skies and among the ruins of forgotten cities, the earliest chapters of our story were written. It was in these fertile lands that the seeds of these giants were sown, seeds not just of crops, but of ideas, traditions, and the first sparks of civilization itself. China's roots stretch deep into the Yellow River Valley, where the Shang and Zhou dynasties laid the foundations of a civilization that would endure for thousands of years. Guided by the mandate of heaven, rulers claimed divine right, shaping a society where order and harmony were prized above all. This powerful philosophy created a cycle of dynasties rising and falling, each new era building upon the ashes of the last. The rhythm of renewal and collapse became the heartbeat of Chinese history, echoing through the ages. In the West, Rome's conquest of Gaul left behind more than ruins. It planted the seeds of language, law, and culture. When Rome fell, the Franks, led by the legendary Charlemagne, began forging a new identity, blending Roman legacy with their own traditions to create the early foundations of France. Though the mighty Carolingian Empire eventually splintered, West Francia emerged as the heartland of what would become the French kingdom, carrying forward the dreams and ambitions of its ancestors. Across the vast forests and rivers of Eastern Europe, Viking traders known as the Ruses established Kievan Rus. By embracing Orthodox Christianity, they set Russia on a unique path, blending Slavic, Norse, and Byzantine influences, and forging a bridge between Europe and Asia. This pivotal choice shaped Russia's spiritual and cultural identity for centuries, leaving a legacy that endures in its art, architecture, and traditions. Meanwhile, across the ocean, the lands that would become the United States were home to a tapestry of indigenous cultures, Mississippian mound builders, ancestral Puebloans, and countless others, each with their own stories, innovations, and ways of life. These were the continent's first nations, whose histories, traditions, and destinies were forever altered by the arrival of European explorers and settlers, setting in motion a dramatic new chapter. The collision of old and new worlds, of ancient traditions and foreign ambitions, set the stage for the rise of a new power, one that would reshape the course of history. The ancient roots of these 4 nations, China, France, Russia, and the United States, would intertwine and diverge, shaping their destinies for millennia to come. Their stories begin in the shadows of empires and the dreams of tribes, where the echoes of the past still whisper beneath the surface of the present, reminding us that every nation is built upon the legacies of those who came before. France grew under powerful monarchs, culminating in the absolute rule of Louis XIV, the Sun King. Versailles symbolized royal authority, but beneath the glitter, tensions simmered. The Enlightenment challenged old ideas. Thinkers like Voltaire and Rousseau argued for governments that served the people. In 1789, revolution erupted. The storming of the Bastille became a symbol of uprising. The French Revolution dismantled feudalism, executed the monarchy, and declared a republic. Liberty, equality, brotherhood. From the chaos rose Napoleon Bonaparte, who crowned himself emperor but also spread revolutionary ideals across Europe. His Napoleonic Code enshrined legal equality and influenced laws worldwide. France's journey from monarchy to republic redrew Europe's political map. The revolution's legacy, the end of aristocratic privilege, and the rise of the citizen. France's transformation inspired dreamers and terrified kings everywhere. The world would never be the same. After Mongol conquest, Russia's center shifted to Moscow, where princes slowly consolidated power. Ivan the Great and Ivan the Terrible threw off Mongol rule, declaring Moscow the Third Rome. Ivan the Terrible became the first Tsar, signaling imperial ambition. Russia remained isolated and traditional, lagging behind Western Europe. Peter the Great changed everything. Traveling to Europe, he returned determined to modernize Russia. He reformed the army, built a navy, and forced Western customs on the nobility. His boldest move, building St. Petersburg, a new capital and Russia's window to the west. Modernization was brutal but transformed Russia into a European power. Yet deep problems remained. Most Russians were serfs, living in poverty. A chasm grew between a westernized elite and the peasantry. This tension between ambition and reality would define Russia for centuries. The bear was awake, but not yet at peace. While Europe underwent dramatic transformations, industrial revolutions, political upheavals, and the rise of new empires, China's Ming and Qing dynasties presided over a vast, sophisticated civilization. For centuries, the Middle Kingdom stood as a beacon of stability and culture, its emperors ruling from the magnificent halls of the Forbidden City. The Chinese saw their land as the world's center, a self-sufficient realm guided by the enduring wisdom of Confucian principles. Society was ordered, scholars revered, and tradition shaped every aspect of life, from the imperial court to the bustling markets. Yet in the 19th century, the world outside could no longer be kept at bay. Western powers, driven by a hunger for trade and resources, forced open China's doors, challenging its ancient order. Britain's relentless opium trade sparked the devastating Opium Wars. China's defeat marked the beginning of what would be called the Century of Humiliation, a period of deep national trauma. Unequal treaties stripped China of territory and sovereignty, opening its ports to foreign control and influence. Once mighty cities became enclaves for foreign powers. Internal rebellions like the Taiping and Boxer uprisings, combined with relentless foreign encroachment, further weakened the Qing dynasty, shaking the empire to its core. In the face of crisis, intellectuals fiercely debated China's future. Should the nation reform from within, adopt Western technology and ideas, or overthrow the old system entirely? In 1911, revolution erupted. The Qing dynasty collapsed, ending over 2,000 years of imperial rule. China became a republic, but unity and stability remained elusive. Warlords carved the nation into rival territories, plunging China into chaos and violence. The dream of a strong, unified country seemed distant. The dragon, once proud and mighty, now lay wounded, its spirit battered, its people searching desperately for a new path forward. Amid this turmoil, new movements and ideologies emerged. The stage was set for a radical revolution that would reshape China's destiny. China's struggle for renewal, from the countryside to the cities, would define the nation's path and shape the entire century to come. The world would soon witness the awakening of the dragon. A new era was about to begin. The United States was born from a revolutionary idea, not ancient soil. 13 colonies declared independence in 1776, proclaiming equality and rights for all. The American Revolution was an experiment in self-government. Could a nation thrive without a king? The Constitution created a federal republic with checks and balances. Yet, the contradiction of slavery haunted the new nation, leading to the Civil War. Lincoln's victory preserved the Union and ended slavery, forging a more unified country. After the war, the U.S. transformed into an industrial powerhouse, fueled by resources, immigration, and innovation. Railroads, cities, and inventors like Edison changed the world. By the 20th century, America was a rising economic giant, ready for a global role. The experiment had become a force to be reckoned with. The 20th century's global conflicts forged new superpowers. World War I shattered empires and elevated the United States. World War II redefined the world. France was devastated but resilient, determined to reclaim its place. The Soviet Union, born from revolution, lost millions but emerged as a dominant force, leading a communist bloc. China's civil war and Japanese invasion ended with Mao's victory in 1949, unifying the nation under communist rule. The US emerged stronger than ever, its economy booming and military unmatched. The world split into two camps, the capitalist US and the communist USSR. The Cold War began, a new kind of global rivalry. These four nations now shaped the fate of the planet. Their competition and cooperation would define the century. The age of superpowers had arrived. Today, the world is no longer defined by a single rivalry. The Soviet Union's collapse gave rise to modern Russia, seeking renewed influence amid challenges. France remains a key European power, championing a multipolar world and wielding cultural and diplomatic clout. The United States is still a global leader, but faces internal divisions and new global challenges. Its culture and technology shape the world, but its dominance is no longer absolute. China's rise is the most dramatic. Market reform sparked an economic miracle, lifting millions from poverty. Now, China is a global titan, investing worldwide and modernizing its military. Its ascent challenges the existing order, creating new dynamics with the US. The world is now a complex constellation of powers, competition, cooperation, and uncertainty. The future balance is still being written. We've traced the epic evolution of four nations that shaped our world: France, Russia, China, and the United States, each transformed by revolution, ambition, and resilience. History is a flowing river, not a static monument. Nations adapt and evolve. Their relationships, competition, cooperation, confrontation define today's geopolitics. The challenges they face are global stability, technology, conflict, and the planet's future. Their choices ripple across the world, affecting us all. The future isn't predetermined, it's shaped by our decisions. As we look ahead, the story of civilization continues. New powers will rise, but understanding history helps us navigate what's next. Together we can help write a future defined by shared destiny on this pale blue dot.